All right, let's start with this session. So welcome everyone and thank you for joining us today. Good morning, afternoon or evening, depending upon where you are joining us from. I am Bhuvna from Data Couch and I welcome you and thank you for joining us today for this special session focused on Snowflake certification readiness. We are excited to have you here. Maybe you're new to Snowflake, or maybe you have been working with it for a while and now want that certification badge. Either way, we have got something valuable for you today. We know the certification journey can feel overwhelming at times, so today we are here to simplify it for you. This session is designed to give you a step by step roadmap to approach both the Snowflake Associate and SnowPro Core certifications with confidence. In today's session, we'll be covering the key topics you need to focus on, real world examples that make the concepts stick, practical tips for approaching exam questions strategically, and of course, common pitfalls and how to avoid them. Now, this is not just a walkthrough, it is an interactive, insight packed session in partnership with Snowflake, aimed at helping you build clarity and momentum toward your certification goals. So, settle in, bring in your questions, and get ready to supercharge your Snowflake journey. Let's dive into the session now. It's my pleasure to introduce Bhavuk Chawla, the founder and CEO of Data Couch. Bhavuk created Data Couch to bridge the gap between real world and cutting edge tech training. He is a thought leader in agentic AI, generative AI, and enterprise data solutions with a deep focus on helping teams turn knowledge into action. He's also among India's first ever Snowflake certified associates and a Google Cloud data engineer with elite instructor status at Confluent, Cloudera, and Pluralsight. And outside of work, Bhavuk is a street food enthusiast who believes the best conversations happen over great local eats. Please join me in welcoming Bhavuk. Hi, Bhavuk. Welcome to the session.
Thank you so much, Bhavna.
Up next, we have Vasu Jambunathan, our lead instructor and guide for today's session. Vasu brings over 15 years of rich experience in the tech industry with deep expertise in business intelligence, data warehousing, and solution architecture. He is not just a skilled BI developer, he's also a trusted senior technical instructor who has empowered countless professionals to advance their data careers. With a strong background in business processes and pre sale strategy, Vasu is known for making complex data concepts approachable and actionable, especially when it comes to platforms like Snowflake. He holds an MCA from Malanad College of Engineering, and today he will be walking you through what it really takes to succeed in your Snowflake certification journey. Please join me in welcoming Vasu Jambunathan. Hi, Vasu. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks, Bhavana. Hi, everyone. Welcome to this session. Let's make sure that this session is going to be interactive and get maximum information out of this. So welcome once again to all of you.
Thank you so much, Vasu. All right, before we begin, let me take a moment to introduce Data Couch. We are leaders in highly customizable professional service delivery, specializing in agentic AI, generative AI, data engineering, cloud, blockchain, NFTs, cybersecurity, advanced data science, data analytics, agile, DevOps, AR/VR, and countless other Web 3.0 domains. Our range of services varies from consulting and implementing solutions to personalized coaching and skilling programs, from enablement solutions to proprietary browser-based virtual lab solution. We also offer managed services for infrastructure and human capital to meet the unique requirements of organizations of all sizes and scale. We are excited to share that in the past 9 years, our world-class delivery model has allowed us to have a global footprint and enabling us to transform the careers of over 200K professionals. Thanks to this growing community of learners, our expertise now spans cutting-edge technologies where we continue to push the boundaries of innovation. Our training portfolio covers over 50 advanced certification courses, has tailor-made courses and learning paths for highly unique needs, and is supported by a network of over 500 expert industry practitioners. All these consultants, instructors, and solution implementers are highly qualified, experienced, certified, and vetted by giants like Confluent, Snowflake, Cloudera, Google, AWS, and more. Our services portfolio spans advanced Web 3.0 technologies and domains like agentic AI, generative AI, enterprise AI, ML deployments, cloud, big data, including data engineering and data analytics, DevOps, Agile, and more. Highlighting our significant achievements, we have successfully partnered with Fortune 500 companies and GSIs like Infosys, Accenture, TCS, as well as tech giants like Apple, Salesforce, and Google. Many multinational corporations like PayPal, PepsiCo, Bank of America, Visa, and BCBS are among others where we have left our footprints. Today, Data Couch is a proud host of 5 vibrant communities, namely All Things Data, Generative AI User Group, Snowflake User Group, AI Minds, Gulf Minds, and the last one especially focused on nurturing data and AI conversation in the greater Middle East and Gulf region. We are a vibrant and growing cohort of more than 40,000 like minded professionals, innovators, and curious learners who regularly come together for such meetups and discussions. Our overview of our partners. So, as you see, these are the tech giants that we have been partnered with, like Snowflake, Cloudera, Confluent, Starburst, Neo4j, Dataiku, Google, AWS, Current, Alibaba, and so many other tech giants that you can see here on the screen. And we're extremely proud to be their partners and be their extended team. We're also honored to announce that Confluent has recognized us as the only global education partner for the years 2022, 2023, and 2024. This recognition, received for the third consecutive year, underscores our leadership in providing cutting edge training and consultancy services on a global scale. Now, turning to Snowflake, the fastest growing AI data cloud trusted by over 11,000 global customers and processing 6.3 billion daily queries. We are proud to be associated with world's fastest growing AI cloud service provider as their authorized training partners for their official courses. We bring you courses that are delivered by certified Snowflake instructors at exclusive rates. Now, without taking much of your time, I would like Bhavuk and Vasu to discuss the possibilities that we have in store for you today. Over to you, Bhavuk.
Thank you so much, Bhavna. Welcome to the session, everyone. So I'm just sharing my screen. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, it is.
Great. Thank you so much. So today's session is focusing on SnowPro Core Certification. And in this session, we will be discussing how you can accomplish and how can you achieve this certification. And during this session, I would love to talk about my journey also, how I cleared this certification. And there is a LinkedIn post also that I posted in which I talked about my journey, how I cleared this certification. And then I'll also request Vasu to share his experience, how one can crack SnowPro Core certification. And we will be having discussion on sample questions. This is an interesting one because here you will see what are the various scenarios that you can get in the exam and how to attempt these questions, how to think about these questions, how to approach a problem, and which option is correct and how to eliminate the other option. So Vasu will be sharing those tips and tricks during the discussion, sample questions discussion. So we would encourage everyone to please participate on the chat and write questions. In case you have any questions, you can write it on the chat. You know, we have two instructors, two people leading this session, specifically two speakers. So that means like if I am speaking and you are having any questions, then Vasu can always respond. And in case like Vasu is speaking, then I can always assist Vasu. So that's the beauty. So I would encourage like we keep it interactive and just ask questions whenever you have and you can post it on the chat. So that's the best mechanism. Otherwise, like we can always discuss towards the end of the session where you can unmute and you can ask questions. So let's start. So before I start, like there is a workshop which is coming up in Bangalore, Whitefield, which is on 1st of August. And this is an in-person meetup workshop. And Bhuvna can share more details about this workshop. So you can register for this workshop through this QR code. And there is a offer going on, and Bhuvna can talk more about it towards the end. So I'll move forward. So today's agenda, specifically, like we are going to talk about like overview of Snowflake, and then we will be delving deeper into what are the different types of certifications that we have in Snowflake, and how can we achieve SnowPro Core Certification title, and what are the resources available, what are the assets available, and how we can prepare for this certification. And then last but not the least, we will be discussing about SnowPro Core Certification questions, which are basically sample questions or mock questions. So we will be talking about those scenarios and also various options within those questions, like which one to choose and why this option is correct, why not others. So we'll be talking about that. So very quickly, Snowflake is not a very simple platform, but it is actually having a lot of things under the hood. And before I talk about this architecture, I need to show you something very interesting. Like this is Snowflake logo, and you will find like we are talking about why Snowflake. There are so many benefits of using Snowflake, and why Snowflake. So we can share these links with you so that you can go through it offline and you can understand why we are moving towards Snowflake and what are the key reasons why enterprises are basically adapting this technology, and they have already like implemented so many production deployments. So why this is becoming so popular, the platform is becoming so popular. So this is a LinkedIn post that I posted some time back. And in this LinkedIn post, you will find like we are talking about why Snowflake. So we don't have time to talk about basics of Snowflake in this meetup because the goal is preparing for the certification, but at least you should be convinced that you are moving in the right direction. And this is like a career shift that I am talking about. How my career got shifted after going through this platform, after learning about this platform. So I want to convey this thing that like you are taking a right decision or right step towards something very big. It is not just about one platform, it's like a career shift, it's a mindset shift that I'm talking about. It's a cloud data and AI platform which is basically transforming lives, and it is powering more than 750 Fortune 500 companies out of like more than 750 Fortune 500 Fortune 2000 companies. So out of 2000 Fortune companies, like 750 companies are already using Snowflake platform. So it will definitely help you in your career and moving to the next level. So let me show you about the overall the perception that we have for Snowflake. So many people say that Snowflake is cloud data warehousing, SQL based analytics, pay as you go model. So it's like Uber. So in Uber, you pay as you go. That means like you pay for the trips, right? So when you hire an Uber, you pay for the trips. And when you talk about buying a car, so that is like buying maybe traditional examples of Teradata and other data warehouses. So then at that time, like we were basically buying the licenses and also buying hardware. So it was very expensive. So that was like buying a car. So nowadays the trend is buy a platform or have a platform which is like an Uber, pay as you go model. So this is something which is very high level understanding of Snowflake. But actually, Snowflake has lot of depth, and it is like an iceberg. And this iceberg has lot of depth and lot of features are there within Snowflake. So I hope you are getting a high level idea that Snowflake is beautiful, very simple platform, but under the hood, it is having a lot of complex things going on, and it is very powerful platform. So that's what I want to communicate here through this iceberg. Now, when we look at the Snowflake architecture, a simplified view, in this architecture, you will see there are three layers that we are talking about. So one layer is storage layer, which is like DNA, and it remembers everything and it stores the data for the tables that we have in the form of micro partitions. And these micro partitions are immutable, and the size and everything like max 16 MB. So this is compressed columnar data which is stored in the storage layer, and storage layer can be AWS S3 or Azure blob storage, or it can be like GCP storage, GCS. So this is like storage layer, and it is shared data. And then we have compute layer, which is working on the storage layer and running queries, ingesting. When you ingest data, then also the compute layer will come into picture. And these are virtual warehouses, the term that we use in Snowflake. And then we have global services layer, which is around infrastructure manager, metadata manager. So there are many components in the global services layer, or we also called cloud services layer. So this is like brain of Snowflake. This is muscle of Snowflake, because here the actual work, the horsepower of Snowflake that we call it. And then this is something which is the data, and it remembers everything. So this is a simplified view, 3-layered architecture. But actually Snowflake is not just 3-layered architecture. Now Snowflake is 5-tier or 5-layered architecture that we will be going into. So let's go into next layer. So next level. So next level is like more detailed architecture of Snowflake. So in this architecture, you will see that Snowflake is actually cloud agnostic. You can have AWS, Microsoft, Google Cloud, and we have SnowGrid. And SnowGrid is like internet backbone, and it is basically connecting all your Snowflake accounts across different cloud providers. So it is like a single pane of glass through which you can govern Snowflake environment, and you can do a lot of things with regards to like overall managing the cross cloud platform. So this SnowGrid is something which is added in this architecture, and it is very much helpful when it comes to live shared files, or maybe you want to apply a single security policy across different locations. So automatic backups, or if you have failovers. So all these things are taken care by SnowGrid. So it's a layer which is talking to various cloud without actually impacting your data governance or security. So it is single pane of window. When you look at the second part, which is around like data, and data is not just structured data. Earlier, traditional data warehouses were primarily focusing on structured data, but Snowflake has patented technology on semi-structured data. There is a white paper also on Snowflake website that you can find. So it stores semi-structured data in a very optimized way, and it can process semi-structured data very fast compared to any other data warehouse platform. And it also has support for unstructured data nowadays. So now the data warehouses are no more like, when we talk about cloud data warehousing and Snowflake, then it is no more restricted just to structured data, but it also supports semi-structured data and unstructured data. And it has support for iceberg tables, Snowflake tables, and then hybrid tables are for those operations where we want to do lookup or row level transactions for OLTP, OLAP support. So those kind of things can happen through hybrid tables. And then it supports all types of architectures, data warehouse, data lake house, and then data mesh. So all types of architectures can be implemented on Snowflake. Then we have support for Python, Java, Scala, SQL, and then catalog for data governance. It supports Horizon catalog, and we can run different workloads, including data engineering, analytics, AI applications that we can run. And we can connect with our partners, and there is a marketplace, and there are a lot of external engines through which it can be connected. So I hope you got a high-level overview about Snowflake before we start talking about certification. Any questions, you can write it on the chat. Otherwise, I will assume that you got it. Like overall, this is a platform which is much more powerful. It is not very simple platform. Under the hood, a lot of things are going on, but it is simplifying things for us. So if you look at the Snowflake, it is like trusted data meets trusted AI. So you have models, large language models running within Snowflake platform, and you don't have to make any external calls. So these things are actually mentioned in the LinkedIn post that I shared earlier. So this is the place where you can find why Snowflake. And here one of the points is like secure in place data processing, and also for AI and large language models, you will find that access to leading AI models are available in Snowflake itself. You don't have to go anywhere else or make any external calls. So you will find like this is a deeper architecture of Snowflake and more layers and specific tools and technologies are mentioned here. And you will see 354% ROI by the company. So that's why so many enterprises are using Snowflake. And as I was mentioning, like more than 750 global 2000 companies are already using, Forbes 2000 companies are already using Snowflake. Okay. Okay, great. So Vasu, thank you for sharing this. And I hope you can read the comments from Vasu. Okay. So I'm moving forward. So there is a connector for Spark, so which Vasu has mentioned on the chat. Okay, moving forward. So Snowflake supports role-based access control, and it has end-to-end data governance and security. So granular level permissions can be given, and we can implement security through custom roles in the Snowflake platform. So it provides these kind of features which are very much required by enterprises. Now we are talking about certifications. And when we say certifications, so there are many certifications which are there, but there is a path, there can be multiple paths. And this picture actually summarizes it very well. So if you look at the very first certification, very first stepping stone we have is SnowPro Associate certification. And on 1st of August in Bangalore, Whitefield, we are having a session also on SnowPro Core, this SnowPro Associate certification. And this is based on the platform training, Snowflake platform training that we'll be conducting in Bangalore. And this particular exam is the very first exam that you can go for. But right now, today's session, we are discussing SnowPro certificate, SnowPro Core Certification. So today we are discussing SnowPro Core Certification and how to prepare for this exam. And then there are other types of certifications also, which are like SnowPro Specialty Certification. And I will talk more about it now. And this is SnowPro Advanced Certification. So let me switch to the Snowflake website. And here you will find the certification page. And on the certification page, you will see these are like beginner level certifications, or you can say introductory certifications from Snowflake. So there is associate level and core certification. So these are two certifications that we are talking about. And let me relate with this. So this is associate level and this is core. So when we look at the website, you will find this and this. We are talking about these two are beginner level. And then there is specialty certification and then there is advanced. So if you look at the website, you will see specialty and then there is advanced. So specialty certifications are having like three areas. One is Snowpark related certification, another one is native apps, and another one is GenAI. And then we have advanced certification, which is more like role based, or you can say persona based. So this is data engineering, or maybe for administrators or analysts. So you will find like the certifications for architect. So these are advanced certifications specific to role based exams. So when you look at this page, which is learn.snowflake.com, and here you will find the different certifications are there. And when we talk about SnowPro Core Certification, then this certification has many objectives. Can we get voucher for okay, Bhagirath, like regarding the voucher, for SnowPro, this is a paid certification and the exam fee is also mentioned for SnowPro Core. Unfortunately, the vouchers are not available for SnowPro Core certification that we are talking about. But in case you join a workshop on 1st of August, then you can get a free voucher for Snowflake Associate exam in our workshop. But for this SnowPro certification, it is like a paid and it is something which is 175 USD. So this certification has 100 questions and you get 115 minutes and passing score is 750 out of 1000. So there is like a certification guide also. I'll talk about the study guide for this certification, and there are 6 areas that we are talking about. So these 6 areas, 24% you can expect this, the weightages. So that means you can expect these many questions will be appearing like in terms of like distribution. So this is the most important topic. And then this is basics, or you can say features and architecture, the core aspects. of Snowflake, and then access and security 18%, and performance cost optimization 16%, data loading and unloading 12%, and data transformation 18%, and data protection and data sharing. So these are the 6 areas. And when we will be giving you walkthrough of sample questions, then we will be covering all these areas through sample questions, so that you get an idea like how it is, what kind of questions you can expect. Any questions on the chat or otherwise? I'm taking a deliberate pause. So how many people are planning to appear for SnowPro certification in this month, or any thought, or maybe you can share? Okay, Vishal, got it. Okay. Anyone else who is planning to appear for this? Okay, next month, Divya, I got it. Got it. Baswa Kumar, got it. Just waiting for others. No worries, Vishal, I got it. Prabmeet, please go ahead. You can unmute and you can ask question. Next month, got it. Prabmeet, you raised your hand, so I'm just checking if you have any questions. Okay, I was planning to give it. Got it. Got it. Okay. Oh, you raised hand for saying, okay, you are okay. Got it. I thought you have question. Got it. I got it. So now how to prepare for this certification? So you can download the exam study guide. Let me show you where exactly it is. So when you go to SnowPro Core Certification page, you will find these are the certification objectives, and these are the exam details that I just mentioned on the slides also. Now, the domain weightages I just discussed, but in case you are appearing for this certification, so there are multiple steps which are involved. So let me show you a journey so that you get an idea. So let's say this snow beer is not SnowPro Core certified, and what are the steps that we need to follow to become snow beer who is SnowPro Core certified? So these are the steps, and we have defined these steps in the journey. So very first thing that we have mentioned is exam guide. So this is like your Bible, the beginning, like you have to start from here only, and you need to download the exam guide. And how does it look like? If you go here, you will find this is how the exam guide is, and you can download this exam guide from this page, and we can post this link on the chat also so that it is easy for you to refer. I'm just posting on the chat. So here you can find the exam guide. You can just fill the form and you can get exam guide free of cost. Now in this exam guide, you will find there are 6 areas that I was talking about, and I'll just make it bigger. So there are certain recommendations like Snowflake University. You can use your community login and then you have free trial for 30 days. And then you will find there are other recommendations also. And if you go down further in the exam guide, you will find 6 areas which are basically being discussed, and prerequisite knowledge. So at least you should have database basic knowledge and basic knowledge of cloud fundamentals. And if you go down further, you will find we have like 6 areas, and in each of these 6 areas we have certain resources. So when you are preparing for the very first objective of the certification, so this is the very first objective. Within that, these are the areas that you need to prepare, and what are the recommended links where you can read more about these. So these are the study resources. So this is the first objective, and this is the breakdown of the first objective, and within that we have study resources. So you can refer to these links. And then this is second area, and then you will find similarly study resources. So this is something which is very important to understand, that this exam guide will help you in understanding what are the resources which are available and how you can prepare for this certification, right? So this is the beginning. So that's why if you look at this journey, so you can just download the exam guide, and within exam guide you will find various objectives and what are the key resources or like study material that you can start with. Then second step that we have recommended is using a this QR code. You can enroll for fundamental course, And this fundamental course is a Snowflake fundamental course, and it is an official course. And Snowflake official course is our very in-depth, right? So this is something which will give you understanding about Snowflake platform, and it will help you in learning the best practices. So you are basically getting everything from source. That means like it is written by Snowflake team itself, and after learning from different projects. So there are so many issues that we like Snowflake encounters every now and then, and all those learnings, best practices are already incorporated in this particular course. So once you go through this course, so you will really be amazed with the quality of the course. That means like 4 days you will have a very detailed hands-on instructions, and also the guides, the manuals that you get, they are also very detailed, and they are all coming from the source itself, and you will learn best practices, and you will be helping your organization also to save cost of running Snowflake platform, because you are just ensuring that you are sticking to the best practices. This is third step, which is like enrolling in the SnowPro on-demand exam prep course. So this is which is a on demand. That means it is a self-paced course that you can find on learn.snowflake.com itself. So if you go to learn.snowflake.com, I'll just, so here you will find, just search for this particular course. You will find it like on demand Snowflake SnowPro certification course. So when you search for this, you will find this is the prep course. This is on demand. Right. So this is a paid course. In case like you want to go for this paid course, this is a self-paced course, so that can also help you. So this is another step that we have mentioned, and we can post the link also. Then another step, which is interesting one, which is like a practice exam. And this practice exam is available only for 24 hours once you register. So this is a very important point that I am mentioning. Please note that when you register for the exam, if you go here, and you will find there is a practice exam, and we can send you the link on the chat. This practice exam is available only for 24 hours. So this is, once you purchase, you have only 24 hours. This is very, very important point. And you have access to this course only for 24 hours. And this is a paid practice exam, and it is like $50 or so. You can just go here. If you are buying it from India, then it is 40 USD. Otherwise, it is 50 USD. So this practice exam has 30 to 40 questions, and this is like very much similar to the actual questions that will be coming. But this practice exam is only available for 24 hours. So you can, so one more thing that I want to mention, that during this 24 hours, like you can make notes also. It's, since it is not proctored, in actual exam you don't have access to anything, like you don't have access to your like internet or your notebook, or you don't have access to anything. But when we talk about practice exam, you have access to your laptop, and you can just take notes also. So my recommendation to you is, when you are going through this practice exam, then please do take some notes, so that after the access is removed, then also you will know like what was there in the practice exam. That's my suggestion to you. Okay, so this is another step that we have mentioned. And then you can appear for the certification. And how do you appear for the certification? You can appear for the certification by going to this platform, and you just need to do register. And once you do register, then it will direct you to cert metrics, and it will ask you to log in. And I'll just log in through my ID. And once I'm logged in, you will find there is a left navigation bar, and here you will also find links, practice exam, study guide that I was mentioning, how to enroll for the instructor-led training. But we have our own link, data couch link, that will basically be like the public batches which are happening. So you can make payments in Indian rupees, and we take care of everything related to GST and everything. So if you see on the left side, manage exam, there is an option, manage exam, and here you can register for the exam. So there are a lot of options. So this is like SnowPro Core Certification exam. So here you can register. Any questions till now? Uh, yeah, so this is available only for 24 hours. The practice exam will be available only for 24 hours. And I want to share my journey also, like when we are talking about this. So I have a LinkedIn post that I shared long time back, maybe a week back, um, in which I'm talking about my journey, like how I moved from like building applications through Java and other things. Like I was building applications through Demandware, Java, and many other platforms, and I was solving problems. And then I shifted towards Hadoop and Maho and worked for different companies. And then I started working on Snowflake in 2018. And that was something which was very helpful to me. And I was able to achieve a lot through Snowflake. So I'm just grateful to the platform. And this is one of the pictures of one of the knowledge sharing sessions that I delivered long back. But we keep doing such kind of sessions. Just sharing with you, like, this is a real story. And you can see my profile also and recommendations and everything, the kind of certifications that I've done: Google certified data engineer, Google certified machine learning engineer, lot of certifications that you will see in my LinkedIn profile. So coming back to this, what I want to convey here is like it's not just like a certification, it's a big transformation that we are talking about. And this will be like phenomenal shift in your career when it talk about data and AI space, and Snowflake is one of the leaders in this space. Okay, so now I will request Vasu to guide and share some tips and tricks to solve SnowPro Core certification questions. And in case anyone is having any questions, feel free to ask.
Yeah, sure, Mahuk. Thank you very much for giving an insight on how Snowflake platform looks like and the underneath technology behind that. Right. So let me share my screen with you all. Is the screen visible, Mahuk? Can you please
Okay,
confirm?
I can see it. Yes.
Okay, sure. Thank you very much. Right. Let me share my presentation as well. So here we go. Okay. Right. So basically, I think if you can see, Bauk was explaining you about how do you prepare yourself for certification. There are a lot of modules which are there, domain 1 to domain 6, with each of these domains having specific percentage as such. So we need to plan in such a way that which of those particular domains have higher percentage of weightage. So we need to take those higher weightage of percentage domains and prepare ourselves in a very diligent manner so that the passing ratio we can increase as such, right? We can identify, right, 75 to 80% as the weightage is carried by which of the modules. Based on that, we can focus on that and try to prepare ourselves. So exam study guide is the ultimate way for you to prepare with. Go to the documentation, go to the resources, and you know prepare yourself on the various concepts. Of course, we do have fundamental training, which Bahuk spoke about. Uh, that that doesn't beats anything. An instructor-led training, probably through virtual or on-site, which is basically where Data Couch also can give you the instructor-led trainings. It can help you to uh, prepare yourself in the journey of certification because you can meet one-on-one, ask questions, and get it clarified, and go in depth of our fundamentals of Snowflake as well, and then practice exams and so on and so forth. Community, you can post your questions on the community. These are all the ways that you can prepare yourself for certification. For me, I feel that okay, you need to plan in such a way that okay, in next 1.5 months to 2 months, how am I going to prepare myself for the certification? Of course, you will have your regular project works, you do have your day-to-day activities. Apart from that, how much time I can dedicate myself for the certification is very important, right? If you can dedicate for half an hour to 1 hour every day down the line for 1.5 months, I think that you will definitely able to crack the certification without any fail. Even I followed the same as well. I joined Snowflake about 3.5 years back. So I was given a task to complete the certification with a deadline of 1.5 months. So then I thought, how do I do it actually in 1.5 months? Then I made a plan myself telling that, okay, I need to dedicate about an hour every day to certification on various modules and prepare myself. And I was able to successful in my first attempt itself. So that is how we'll be doing it. Okay, so let's see what is there here. So whenever you go into the certification, read the questions carefully. That's very important. We need to understand because a lot of questions will have couple of answers correct. You always feel okay, all the three are correct. So it is more of like creating an ambiguity in you, but however, bringing a perfection in your thoughts, right? If four options are given, you need to start eliminating the one which are not correct and finally conclude the one which is correct as well. Plan your time because you'll be answering a lot of questions. Even though they are multiple choice questions, some of the questions will take a lot of time because of the theoretical questions or the scenario based questions that we are going to ask. So plan your time. Otherwise, what happens if you waste your time in the initial stages, then you may end up with answering the other questions on the latter part in a very faster manner, which can tend to make some mistakes as such, right? There is no partial credit as such. There is no negative answers, negative numbering as such. So nothing else. If it is more of like answering correctly and getting the results as such, right? So in some questions, two answers will be correct. Some of the questions, one answer will be correct. So those are the things that you need to keep into account. If you log in into the certification, this is how it looks like. Typically, exactly this is how we had taken the screenshot, but it is not the exact question what we're showing with. On the top, it shows you what is the total time remaining. You can see that, right? On the top, what is the total time remaining? So that you always need to keep focus on that. And in which question are you? 36 of 100 means that you are in the 36th question out of 100 questions. So you will get a clarity. Okay, 64 more questions I have to answer with. If some of the questions which you feel that you are not comfortable, you need a review, you can flag for review. It means that before you submit your certification, it will ask, can you please complete the one which you have flagged for review? So means you don't get to a conclusion while you are going through that. You wanted to review it back after completing everything. You can flag for review, right? Maybe some 15, 20 questions would have flagged for review. You can come back after completing other questions and review it and make sure that you're going to answer it correctly. And then, of course, these are all the multiple choice questions that you do have, which you need to answer with that. You can always toggle between previous questions. You can toggle between the next questions. Very quite a good interactive interface that you get it while doing the certification as such. Let's take some of the questions. How do you answer with? For example, I have a question. I think you are, I believe that you have fundamentals of Snowflake and keeping in that mind, I have framed some of the questions for you. Not exactly these questions are going to come, but we just wanted to simulate them in such a way that you'll be able to get the hang of that. For example, a first question, what does the percentage scan from cache represents in the query profile? So whenever we go into query profile, we get the query profile only we execute the query. So that is something that we need to understand. When I execute a query, I get query profile. Without executing a query, I don't get a query profile. It means the possibilities that we can think are the query result cache, the metadata, the storage layer, the data cache. These are the possible things comes into the picture for us. Immediately, we'll start analyzing each and every question. The percentage of data scanned from the query cache. When I execute a query using the query result cache, it doesn't give any information because it would have not used a warehouse at all. If it is going to be executed by our cloud services layer, again, we would have not used the warehouse. Hence, it doesn't make sense us to think about the query has used the data from the data cache. So then the final answer that we can think of is that the percentage of data scanned from local disk cache. That's the reason here is that because you know that right, whenever we execute a query against a warehouse, it has three components, CPU, RAM, and SSD. So the amount of data that is being used by a particular query using the data cache of a virtual warehouse is something that every query can use, may or use, may not use as such. So in the sense now we can come to a conclusion that the answer is D because the percentage data scanned from the local disk cache is percentage scan from cache in the query profile. That's as I said, if and only if a query uses the virtual warehouse, then it can generate a query profile effectively and also shows you the percentage scan from cache. Any query executed with QRC, Any query executed using metadata will not show you a detailed query profile. Hence, those answers are irrelevant as such. So we're starting eliminating the things. So you can see the answer is percentage of data scanned from local cache. Let's take another question. Which permission on a Snowflake virtual warehouse allows the role to resize the warehouse? Very important. You all know that every object that we are going to create in Snowflake has list of privileges. The list of privilege depends upon the type of object associated with. For example, a table has different set of privileges. A view has different set of privileges. A pipe, a stage, every object in Snowflake has its own set of privileges. In this scenario, if you can see, the warehouse also has list of privileges: alter, modify, monitor, usage. Now, what we really want to do here is to resize the warehouse. Resize means typically, you want to increase from extra small to small, small to medium, medium to large, so on and so forth. Right. So next we start analyzing it. Okay. Alter is what? Right. What is modify? What is monitor? What is usage? So on and so forth. Usage is for only using the warehouse, right? Then if you talk about uh, monitor, it's for only monitoring the warehouse, how much of credits are consumed, so on and so forth, which query is being used to execute that particular which query is using that warehouse, so on and so forth. Now, if I want to resize a virtual warehouse, I should be able to have a modify privilege. Why not alter? Alter is not at all a valid privilege as such. We don't have an alter privilege for Snowflake warehouse. So if I list the list of privileges, usage is a valid privilege, operate is a valid privilege, modify is a valid privilege, monitor is a valid privilege. Alter is not at all a privilege of virtual warehouse. This is removed. Monitor is for monitoring, using is for using, hence the correct answer is modify. Right? So sometimes they ask you give you one answer, one particular answer, which is nothing to do with the warehouse, right? Alter and modify look similar, but alter is not the correct answer. Modify is the correct answer as such. You can see modify. Next, let another question. Which DDL GML operations is allowed on an inbound data share? Right. We all know that we can share the data from one Snowflake account to another Snowflake account, right? We can share the data from one Snowflake account to another Snowflake account. When I'm sharing it, for example, if you have an account one, account two, hosted on Amazon Web Services, hosted on a particular region as such. So when I want to share the data between A1 and A2, I use the concept of shares. Any share shared by A1 is called an outbound share. Any share consumed by A2 is called an inbound share. So imagine A1 would have shared a table called T1, would have shared a table called T1. Now, the users of A2 can perform what kind of operations on this particular table T1. So whenever I share the data in Snowflake using the shares, you are not moving the data. It is the same copy of data is shared across two different Snowflake accounts. So it means that from A2, I can't insert the data. I can't merge the data. I can't modify the definition of the table. The only way is to fire the select query on the table and read the data as such, right? So alter is eliminated, insert is eliminated, merge is eliminated. The correct answer is select. It means any data that has been shared from A1 to A2 via share object is read only. It is read only. How I can perform read only? It's via select query. So that is how we can freeze it. The answer is select, right? So this, for this, you would have understood how share works, how it is inbound share, what is an outbound share, how to consume a share, what are the important privileges. So this concept should be clear in that particular concept as such. Let's check another one. What is the default behavior of internal stages in Snowflake, right? First of all, we need to understand what is a file in Snowflake. A file is a stage is a file-based repository where you store the file or stage the files. I repeat, we use stage to store the file or stage the file. store, or stage. These are the two terminologies that we use it. Storing means physically storing the file in the stage. Staging means referring to an external repository where the file exists. We are not physically storing it as such. In order to handle these two scenarios, for storing we use internal stage. For staging we use external stage in Snowflake. External stage, right? If it is an internal stage, Snowflake is going to manage all of these things. If it is external, our service provider will manage that. Now, if Snowflake is managing an internal stage, what are the two stages which gets automatically created? User stage and table stage. Do you need to create this user stage and table stage in Snowflake? No. For every user that is going to be onboarded to Snowflake, a user stage is created. Every user who is going to be creating a table stage is going to be created. It means that there's no need to create a stage as such physically for user stage and table stage. Let's come back and analyze it. Named internal stages are created by default. No, they don't get created default. A user should be onboarded or a table should be created. So this is gets eliminated. User must manually create their own internal stages. It is not mandatory that they have to manually create, because some of the stages will automatically get created based on the prior actions that you're going to take. Data files are automatically staged in to a default location. No, they don't get automatically staged. You need to make sure that they either lie in an internal stage or it is referring to an external stage as such. The right answer is what? Each user and table are automatically allocated an internal stage. For user, it is user internal stage. For table, it is table internal stage, which gets automatically created. There's no need to physically create those stages. Answer is D. You can see the answer is D. Right. This way we need to analyze it. Let's take another question. At what point is data encrypted when using a put command to load data into Snowflake? Right. I think you all know that uh, we have SnowSQL and Snowflake CLI. What are they? They are both are command line utilities. They both are command line utilities. Instead of using a Snow site interface, can I perform certain actions using the command line utility? Yes, possible. So it means a put command is a command line utility which you can use it in order to, put your files into a stage. Particularly, we use put command to upload a file into a stage from your local file system. Imagine you have a file in your laptop or a desktop. You want to upload that file into an internal stage. We use put command. Now, imagine this is your machine which you are using it, and we have our Snowflake word SNLF, Snowflake SNFL, Snowflake word, and there is a stage inside that. The idea is to upload this file from my local laptop into Snowflake stage. Now, the question is that when the file is going to be encrypted, is the file is going to be encrypted before it comes to Snowflake or after coming to Snowflake? So the questions are revolving around that. When it reaches the virtual warehouse will never come into the picture at all. We eliminate that. Okay, this is going to be eliminated. When it is micro partition, nothing to do with that actually. This is also wrong. Before it is sent from user machine, after it reaches the internal stage. These are two something which we need to investigate with. Right. Before it is sent from the user machine, in the user machine itself, it is going to be encrypted in Snowflake, and the encrypted file comes onto the internal stage. So the right answer is C, not the right answer D. So D is also eliminated. So it means that before it is sent to the Snowflake internal stage, it is going to be encrypted, right? So on the user local machine, prior to being transmitted to the internal stage, the file is going to be encrypted is the right answer. So it means that you need to focus on what? Snowflake CLI, Snowflake, SnowSQL, command line utilities. How do you connect with Snowflake? There are various ways to connect. you need to think in that particular terms as well. The right answer is before it is sent from the user machine. Let's take another question. How does Snowflake improve the performance of the query that are designed to filter out a significant amount of data? Snowflake can handle large volume of data. When I tell large volume of data, a typical table can have data in terabytes. A typical table can have data in terabytes. It means whenever I fire a query, it has to eliminate maximum number of data that need to be scanned. If it is going to scan all data, it takes huge amount of time. So your query need to be written in such a way that it has to eliminate the data which is not relevant to that particular query. I think you all know that we store the data in micropartitions, where each micropartition is a tiny file with 50 MB to 500 MB of uncompressed data. So they are micropartitions. We store that in the storage layer of Snowflake. Now, one table in Snowflake can have many number of micropartitions, thousands of micropartitions. Typically, when I execute a particular query, I'm going to write in such a way that out of 1000 micropartitions, maybe I'm going to eliminate 750 micropartitions. So the process of eliminating these micropartitions is called micropartition pruning in Snowflake. It's called as micropartition pruning. What is pruning? Eliminating the micropartitions which are not relevant to that particular query. Then comes our answers. The use of indexing. Indexing is not at all used in Snowflake, so that is eliminated. The use of pruning. Yes, the word pruning is coming. But before I conclude that answer, let's talk about the other one. The use of table scan, nothing to do with that. By increasing the number of partitions, no, we are reducing the number of micropartitions. So this is also eliminated. The right answer is the use of pruning. So micropartition pruning is used in order to eliminate the micropartitions which are not required, so that we can filter out significant amount of data in a particular table. So that is one of the right answer. So it means that you need to read a lot about micropartition pruning, and how does it work, what is micropartition, how does filters work in micropartition pruning, how does cloud services layer will help in micropartition pruning, right? What metadata information the pruning uses. These are the things that you need to understand with, right? So that is why some of the topics are very important actually. Next, which factor, I don't know who's marking this, which factor indicates that a table may benefit from clustering, right? I think you all know that um, whenever I load the data to Snowflake, it's going to use natural order, right? Natural order. What is natural order? The order in which you are loading the data to Snowflake. If you are loading the data in the order of order date, your micropartitions are created in the order of order date. If you are loading the data in the order of customer ID, your micropartitions are created in the order of customer ID, right? Now, in Snowflake, you have the facility to create a cluster key so that your micropartitions are organized in the way that you want instead of doing in a natural way. But if I want a clustering key, what may be the possible benefit that you're going to get it, right? Possible benefit. In this particular example, you can see two answers are correct. Two answers are correct. The table is 1 TB or larger. The table is an external table. The response time is greater than 10 seconds. The table is queried with many different filters on different columns. A large number of micropartitions are scanned, but just a subset of data is retrieved. Now, if you have a large data, okay, if you have a large data with 1 TB of data, then clustering is going to help you out. External table is eliminated because in external table, we don't store the data as such, then the clustering doesn't comes into the picture at all. The response time is greater than 10 seconds. It doesn't mean that if the response time is greater than 10 seconds, we should do the clustering. That's not the correct one. The table is queried. Let the table get queried with different columns. At the end of the day, how you want to cluster the table depends upon the frequently used queries with a different, with a query with a filter class. So the right answer, the last one, is that large number of micropartitions are scanned for just subset of data. You want to retrieve only 100 columns, 100 rows, but you are basically scanning about 1 million rows for that. So which is becoming cumbersome actually. So the right answer is A and E. You can see A and E is the right answer. Next, another question. A user needs to ingest 1 GB of data that is available in an external stage using a copy into command. I think you all know a copy into command is used in Snowflake in order to do a bulk load. Okay, is used for bulk load as such. Now, if you want to do a continuous data loading, we use Snowpipe. If you want to do a bulk load or a batch load, we use copy into command. A copy into command can load the data from multiple files in parallel. Can load the data in multiple files in parallel. Means the question, let's try to understand. How can this be done with maximum performance, least cost? Let's analyze one by one. Ingest the data in compressed format as a single file. Snowflake can load the files in parallel. Load the data from files in parallel. If you want to utilize the capabilities of parallelism, then the ingesting the data from single file is not going to be efficient, right? It means you are underutilizing the resources of your virtual warehouse. Ingest the data in an uncompressed format, a single file. I don't agree that if you are loading the from an uncompressed or uncompressed, it is not going to make any sense. You need to provide multiple files to Snowflake using copy command so that it can load the files in parallel. Right. In that scenario, what may be the possible file size? 100 to 250 MB is the optimal file size so that you can get a better load rate as such. But within 100 to 250 MB, are you talking about uncompressed or compressed? Or uncompressed or compressed? We always talk about compressed because our storage cost is not charged based on uncompressed data. We charge based on the compressed data. That is why we talk about 100 to 250 MB compressed data so that each file can be loaded in parallel and your load rate can increase. You means you are utilizing the resources of your virtual warehouse. For example, if you take a virtual warehouse of extra small can load 8 files in parallel. A virtual warehouse of size uh, extra small can load 8 files in parallel. Small can load 16 files in parallel. Medium can load 32 files in parallel. Large can load 64 files in parallel, so on and so forth. So more the number of files, more parallelism, more threads are created. All the files will be loaded in parallel. So the right answer is C, 100 to 250 MB compressed with small, many number of files as such. So right answer is C. Okay, next. What are the best practice for loading data into Snowflake? What are the best practices for loading the data into Snowflake? Very important. How do we analyze it? First, load data from files in a cloud storage device in different region or cloud platform from the service or region containing the Snowflake account to save on cost. Nothing to do with to whether you are storing it in a different region or different cloud service provider. I don't think that that is an influencing factor as a best practice for loading the data. We can load the data from any cloud service provider storage location. It can be Amazon Web Services, or it can be it can be S3 bucket, or it can be GCP. From wherever you want, you can load the data to Snowflake from any region that you want. So it means that I'm going to eliminate this particular one.
Vasu, one
Okay.
question
Yeah.
we got on the chat. Like there's a question on the last one. Like if you can go back on 8th. So there's a question, why not D from Bhagirath?
Yeah. Uh, as I said, we store the data in uncompressed manner, right? In uncompressed manner, and we also charge it based on for the uncompressed for the compressed data as such. 100 to 250 MB compress is a large amount of data compared to 100 to 250 MB of uncompressed data. Smaller the data file, it is not going to be benefited. Somebody can ask me, I will load a 1 KB of data to Snowflake. Is it not going to help you out? No. So smaller doesn't mean that you get a better load rate. Very large doesn't mean that you're going to get a better load rate. So what is that actually Snowflake is telling about this, that from the past historical experience, it should be 100 to 250 MB compressed. A 100 MB uncompressed is a very, very small size. It means that it's not going to help you out. Of course, you can load it. We never tell we can't load it. But to get a better load rate on large data, you need to have 100 to 250 MB of compressed data, not uncompressed data. But we can load it, not a problem. But better load rate through 100 to 250 MB compressed. Did it answer the question?
Bhagirath, do you have any follow-up question?
Yeah, Bhagirath, do you have any follow-up question?
It's all good. Thank you.
Okay. Right. Right. So what we're talking about, the best practices. Enclose fields that contain delimiter character in single or double quotes, right? We often get, data from files which may have some special characters. We may have some kind of delimiters, right? So in that scenario, it is always better that we enclose it in double quotes or single quotes so that the Snowflake can read that as a data, as a input to your tables as such. So this is one of the best practice I always feel. Enclose fields that contain delimiter character in single or double quotes. If there are some delimiter slash or pipe or something like that, please make sure that you enclose it in single or double quotes. Split large files into smaller chunk of files to make sure that you are going to use the compute resources in an active warehouse. This also I do agree. This is also a best practice as such. Already I told you, split the smaller, bigger files into smaller chunk of files between 100 to 250 MB compressed. So that's the best practice. When planning which warehouse to use for data loading, start the largest warehouse possible. No, I don't think that a large warehouse is cost efficient and performance oriented. And the same way, I can't tell a smaller warehouse is less cost and more performance oriented. So it is always we should do an R&D on that, right? Whenever we are loading the data, we start with small virtual extra small and see what is the load rate. Then we increase it to small, then we go to medium. So it should be in an incremental manner. Doesn't mean that a bigger warehouse is going to get you maximum benefit. So I'm going to eliminate this as well. Partition the stage file with random path, allowing Snowflake to determine more the random paths are there, it is going to take more time because Snowflake has to literally scan all the particular random paths. So this is also going to be eliminated. The right answer is B and C. Does it aligns with our thinking? Yes, definitely. Lex, one more question we have with respect to warehouses. What do the terms scale up and scale out refers to in Snowflake? I think this is something to do with virtual warehouse. That is why concept of virtual warehouse has to be made clear for us. Whenever we are handling concurrency, we scale out. We scale out. What is scale out? It is adding the clusters to an existing virtual warehouse automatically. Whenever we want to handle the complexity and high volume of data, we do scale up. What is scale up? Increasing the size of the virtual warehouse from extra small to medium to large. Scale up is vertical increment. Scale out is horizontal increment. Adding more clusters where each cluster can help you to execute the queries in parallel. You can see first option, scaling out, add clusters of the same size to a virtual warehouse to handle more concurrent queries. Perfect answer. So we can freeze this. Scaling out adds clusters of varying size. No, each cluster will be of same size. Scaling out adds additional database servers. There is no concept of database servers in Snowflake, first of all, so we can freeze it out. Scaling up resizes a virtual warehouse so it can handle more complex workloads. Perfect answer. This we can actually mark as correct. Scaling up at additional database servers. So once the word database servers comes into the picture, I don't agree with what is there inside that. So I'm going to remove that. So the right answer is A and D. Okay, A and D. Next, maybe one or two questions we will take it up and then should be able to take it forward. What can the Snowflake's SCIM API you be used to manage? Select two. I think if you know SCIM is an open specification to help facilitate the automated management of user identities and groups in a cloud application using RESTful APIs. Means, for example, your users and groups are in Okta, or it can be in Microsoft Active Directory, right, in an on-premises scenario. So these users and groups need to be provisioned automatically into Snowflake without manual work. So in that scenario, we use SCIM. It means making sure that we automatically bring the users and groups from the respective systems into Snowflake and create users and roles in Snowflake. Users and roles in Snowflake. Any new user is created here, automatically the user is provisioned here. Any new group is created here, automatically the role is created in Snowflake. If a user is deleted, user is also decommissioned here. If a group is deleted, the role is also getting decommissioned. So nothing we are going to do manually. Everything happens automatically in using SCIM as a particular connector between the external directories where the users and groups are maintained with Snowflake environment. In this scenario, the right answer will be roles and users, nothing to do with integration network policies and session policies. You can see roles and users are the right answers. Right? Let's take one more question. Which Snowflake architecture component is responsible for storing metadata about micropartitions? Wonderful, actually. When Bhauk was explaining to you about what are the three layers of Snowflake, we have storage layer, we have compute layer, we have cloud services layer. Of course, we do have other layers which have come in the later part of Snowflake journey, like Cortex AI layer. We do have SnowGrid. There are some additional layers which have come. But our fundamental core layers are our storage layer, compute layer, and cloud services layer. Storage layer will store all the micropartitions permanently of your table. Compute layer will give you the virtual warehouses required to execute your query. Cloud services is responsible for all metadata management. It is used for managing the entire authorization, security, um, clustering information. So that's why cloud services layer is called brain of Snowflake, which is going to manage the entire platform as such. So as soon as we start reading, responsible for storing metadata about micropartition, the cloud services is responsible for that. That is why all our micropartition pruning, everything happens at the cloud services layer using the metadata information that is available. The statistical information about various rows and columns, null values, the clustering key that you have created for the table, all will be stored in the cloud services layer. Hence, any kind of pruning that happens at the cloud services layer itself. Compute layer, no, it doesn't store any metadata. It doesn't store details about the micropartitions. It shows columnar data. Storage layer will store entire data as such, particularly for that particular table. So the right answer is cloud services layer, not a storage layer, not a compute layer, not a Cortex AI service layer. So the right answer is cloud services layer. So this way, guys, typically you need to understand about the concept, eliminate the things, make sure that you freeze it. For that, you need to do a background. As I said, virtual warehouses, the clustering, the performances, right? And the different layers of Snowflake, the architecture, right? Loading of data, unloading of data, right? The governance. These are all some of the important topics that you need to learn with. Of course, the Bhavik explained to you about how a snow bear without a certification a snow bear with certification, the entire path. If you are able to do all the paths, I think there's no doubt that you can complete your certification as such. But self-study, dedication is also very important as such. So
Vasu,
with that note, I will hand over to Bhav. Yeah, Bhav?
there is a question.
Yeah,
Navneet. She's asking like there is a question on modify and alter warehouse.
yeah,
So
correct. I'll go through that. Yeah. Yeah, I come to this actually. Yeah, correct. Yeah, what is the question there, Bhav?
so she's asking for explanation.
Yeah, I'll tell about it. Every object in Snowflake has privilege list. If you take a table, table has some privilege list. Privilege list. You take a view, it has some set of privilege list. You take a pipe, it has some privilege list. You take a stage, it has some privilege list. Similarly, virtual warehouse also has some privilege list. So the four privileges, if I can remember, usage is a privilege list, operate is a privilege list of virtual warehouse, modify is a privilege, monitor is a privilege. Means I can write a statement, grant privilege usage to of warehouse name to role name, grant operate of warehouse name to role name. So I can grant this privilege to another role as such. What is usage? It's an ability to use a virtual warehouse for executing the queries. What is operate? To start, to stop, to suspend or resume a virtual warehouse. You're operating a bike means what? You're giving an accelerator, you'll be going in a bike. You're not doing anything. You're increasing the accelerator, you're applying the brake, you're just operating the bike. Next come modify. I want to change the size of the warehouse, extra small, small, auto suspend, auto resume, right? All these are some of the properties. Monitor, ability to view warehouse activity, who has executed the query using that virtual warehouse, which of the queries are executed with that virtual warehouse. It is the ability to view warehouse activity. Now comes what is the question? Allows role to resize. One, modify. Right answer is modify. Why not alter? Alter is not at all a valid privilege of virtual warehouse. Monitor, no. With monitor, I can only see the warehouse activity, past queries, current queries, who has executed query, those things I can see. Usage, I can just use the warehouse to execute my queries. But the only valid answer is modify, means I can resize the virtual warehouse, resume, suspend, increase extra small to small, medium, scale back, scale out. All this are possible through monitor. So that's where the monitor is the right answer. Did I help with that answer?
Good, thank you.
Yeah. So with that note, actually, Bhavuk, I will hand over to you for the final remarks.
Thank you so much. Bhuvna, you want to take over?
Sure. Thank you so much, Vasu and Bhavuk, for this insightful session. And I'm pretty sure the participants found a lot of value. I did see a few questions regarding the upcoming session that we are going to be conducting on 1st of August. So let me share a brief about what we're planning to do here. This session is going to be conducted on 1st of August at Whitefield, Bangalore. The session will run from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And this will be conducted by Vasu himself along with Parvati. They both are technical instructors at Snowflake. This is an opportunity wherein, I would highly recommend that participants who are interested in Snowflake journey, they join us. As you can clearly see, there are some exclusive benefits. So we are going to be running a Snowflake platform training session wherein you'll get a lot of hands-on experience in spinning notebooks and also generative AI and LLM use cases. Apart from this, you will also receive a free SnowPro Associate exam voucher. The value of the voucher is USD $80. However, as a participant, you will get this as a complimentary benefit. You will also receive a blockchain verified participation certificate. Also, you will get to network with top AI and data professionals, as well as you will get some direct mentorship and Q&A sessions with the instructors who are going to be leading the session on 1st of August. As you can see, we do have a special offer running, and this is expiring today. This is an early bird offer. So the session pricing is 6,999. However, just for today, we are running this at 5,999. My team has shared the relevant details on the chat box. I highly recommend that you register for this session using the QR code and also the form that has been shared on the chat box. We have very limited seats, and this is going to be a full house session, and you will find a lot of value. Plus, as I mentioned, you will find that apart from all these benefits, you will be able to network, find a lot of value in your career growth and professional networking. So I highly recommend the participants to take advantage of this offer that we are currently running. Please note that this offer expires today midnight, and from tomorrow onwards, you will not find the same deal. Um, Moving forward, I highly recommend that the participants follow us on these social media pages that we have. Also, the link for the YouTube for the recording of this session will be shared with the participants. I recommend that you follow our Data Couch YouTube page, also follow our company LinkedIn page on Instagram, on Facebook, and also on Medium. Keep following us because we keep conducting a lot of these knowledge sharing sessions regularly. Also join our meetup groups, the links for which have already been shared on the chat box. You will find that there will be a lot of such knowledge sharing sessions we will keep initiating, and we highly recommend that you participate. For any queries, reach out to us on the numbers that I mentioned here, on the email ID hello@datacouch.io. Any queries, you may please, in case you have any more questions, I request that you please ask us right here in the chat box. We're here to support you in this journey to get Snowflake certified. Any questions, Bhagirath or Prabmeet? Thank you so much, Harshit. Thank you so much for that lovely feedback.
Hi, Bhuvna. I have a question.
Yes, please.
So yeah, this is Srinivas. So I stay out of India.
Yes,
So I really appreciate your initiative and bring the people into one platform where who are willing to grow in their career as well as certified people. So I stay
yes,
out of India. So
yes,
do you have like any kind of a platform or something like recorded sessions or something where because really I really interested in this kind of like a technical discussion or the kind of questions what sir is asking for. These are
yes.
more relevant to the actual exam is going to come. So you have anything for the out of India people?
Absolutely. Srinivas, please follow our LinkedIn page, also the meetup groups that we have, specifically the Snowflake meetup group that we have. You will find that we will keep conducting such sessions regularly. And in case you're interested in upskilling yourself, I would request you to look up Data Couch and explore the Snowflake courses that are listed there. You will find that you'll be able to enroll in any of the batches that are currently running. Apart from this, do keep following us on the
You provide
social media pages.
online session as well?
Absolutely. So let me talk about the fundamental session, which is the most popular course of Snowflake. You will find that this is an instructor-led session virtually conducted by Snowflake instructors, certified instructors, and this is a
Mhm.
4-day program that is being run. You can contact my team and get special benefits in terms of the pricing. You can
Oh,
look us up. Yeah, you can look us at our Data Couch website. You will find a lot of Snowflake courses, or just
okay.
reach out to us at the email ID that is mentioned here. We'll support you in this journey.
Okay. And one more question, like I may be talking on behalf of all the people who are interested in doing a certification.
Yes.
So as you said, like the course, the upcoming webinar or the course will be from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Yes.
So will it be, you think like, will it be sufficient to get at least familiarized, like all the concepts, what is meant really useful for the certification? I mean, like with some kind of, yeah, I agree. Like we need to do our work as well. Like it's not only from the instructor.
Right.
So, but how much percentage like these concepts are relevant to the exam certification? What you're going to cover it from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. on January 1st. I mean, like the next month, first in Bangalore.
Yeah. So this session will basically cover, it will be a purely hands-on session wherein we'll be talking about not just the certification, but also for participants who are new onto their Snowflake journey. We'll be talking about how does Snowflake platform work, and what are the specific use cases one can, look at when it comes to Snowflake as a platform. The certification related questions will also be answered. There will be some guidance provided on how to approach the certification journey. And in case you're interested, Amara, maybe you can, we will keep you posted about the next sessions that we may conduct online. Currently, this session is purely an in-person session, but
Okay.
if you're interested, do drop us a message or an email. We will keep you posted whenever we have an online session, and you can join that session, and we can support you in this journey again.
I understand, but I am still getting difficult to getting the answer. Like how close this session is relevant to the certification.
Sure, Amara, I'm just quickly answering this.
Yeah, hi, Bob. Yeah.
Yeah. So there are different levels of certification. So when I shared my screen, so I talked about associate level certification.
Yes, correct. Yeah, even I'm looking for that as well.
Yeah. So
Same.
this session objectives are aligned with the certification objectives of associate level exam. So
Okay, thank you.
yeah, so this is the very first stepping stone in Snowflake
Mm.
associate level exam.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you for that question.
Bhuwana, there was one question on the warehouse which I showed you, which I thought I will emphasize on that. Is that okay?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah. See, there's one question which I asked, what does alter command does? So basically, alter command is used to alter the behavior of any object in Snowflake. Alter table, alter stage, alter pipe, alter warehouse. We do have an alter command, but alter is not a valid privilege of a Snowflake virtual warehouse. In order to use an alter command, one user should have the modify privilege as such. So alter is not a valid privilege, but alter is a command to alter the warehouse as such. So there is no privilege as alter, which means that if you want to do an altering of a virtual warehouse, she or he should have the modify privilege as such. So that is the idea behind. Sorry, Bhavana, for interrupting.
No worries. Thank you so much, Vasu. I think that brings more clarity to the question that was previously asked. Any more questions? Thank you, Prabmi. Thank you so much. Thank you, Harshit. Thank you, Divya. In case you have any questions, even post this session, do email us or call us on the number that is listed here. We'll be more than happy to answer any queries. And, and in case you guys are planning to join us in person on 1st of August, uh, please register yourself using the link that has been shared here in the chat box. And we would love to see you in person and interact more. And you will have more time with Vasu, Bhavuk, and Parvati to ask such similar questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much for taking out time from your busy evening on a Friday evening. We really appreciate your presence. Stay in touch. We will keep sharing such knowledge nuggets again and again, and be a part of our community, and let's grow together. Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Vasu.
you.
Thank you, Bhavuk. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Bhavana. Thank you, Bhavana.
Thanks
Thank you,
for the
everyone.
session.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
It was a
Have
good
a
one.
nice weekend. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Have a great weekend.